So the other big issue, obviously, in town, other than the shutdown, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, is the Robert Mueller investigation, which is continuing to harass President Trump. It is largely unchecked by both the Justice Department and by Congress. And it is now as I pointed out on Fox News earlier this week, the vehicle for the impeachment fantasies of the Democrats. They see the Mueller investigation as a vehicle for impeachment, and I guarantee you the Mueller operation sees itself as a vehicle for impeachment for President Trump. Not that I think there's anything to impeach President Trump over, but this is what the game is. This is the game that's afoot here in Washington, D.C. these days. And one of the concerns I have is the unchecked nature of what Mueller's up to. It's one of the biggest operations in the Justice Department right now, yet the budget is virtually unlimited. We can't get the planned budget. We sued for, and they won't give us their proposed budget for Mueller. We only get after the fact reports of what he spent, and I think it's now up to $25 million. Congress is afraid to take on Mueller. Why hasn't Mueller been called to testify to Congress? There's been lots of controversies about what he's been up to. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was the anti-Trumper, who was on his team but was removed. What was he involved in the Mueller operation? Why isn't he being asked, for instance, about his failure to hire Republicans on his team, or frankly anyone who's even a Republican donor on his team? I think there may be one or two people who've given to Republicans in the past on his team. But it's largely a Democrat, partisan operation targeting President Trump. No one's asking him any questions in Congress. Mueller is above oversight in this decrepit town. But he's not above the law. And what Judicial Watch is able to do is try to use the Freedom of Information Act to get access to information about what he's up to. And to that end, we have sued for records about the cost of his security detail. Now, if Mr. Mueller needs security, I don't begrudge him security. But this is one of the hidden costs of this gargantuan operation that the American people have a right to see. And the fact that we can't get basic information about the cost of his security tells you just how out of control either the Mueller operation is or the Justice Department is. And as I've said it before, is that Mueller is the tail wagging the Justice Department dog. All of this cover-up and secrecy with the FISA courts and text messages, you name it, that's all designed to protect the Mueller operation. And Judicial Watch is now the only game in town when it comes to holding Robert Mueller accountable to the law. Because we're in court under the Freedom of Information Act demanding answers from him. We have over 30 lawsuits about the genesis of the Mueller investigation and the general conspiracy against President Trump, the deep state conspiracy against President Trump. I mean, the story of 2018, in many ways, is the collapse of the credibility of the Mueller operation with the American people. Because, as I pointed out, with the corruption around the FBI agents behind him, the anti-Trump FBI agents that's been exposed, the crazy targeting of anything but Russia by his team. We talked about the corruption of the General Flynn prosecution. We've talked about the raid on the president's lawyers' offices. You know, all of these outrageous acts, the deletion of text messages by the Mueller special counsel, his secret budget. Where's the accountability? Well, Judicial Watch is in court trying to get accountability. We just filed another Freedom of Information Act lawsuit.